Welcome everybody to Binding of Isaac Explained, Episode 6, Homing Bullets and AI. One of my favorite items is homing bullets. It cannot be overstated how powerful they are, especially with the limited firing angles the game provides you. It's great that your bullets can curve up or down, and that way even hit things behind cover. So how do they work? Well, really simple actually. All you need is a function that finds all nearby enemies, picks the best one, and then you need just to tell the bullet to slowly lerp the speeds accordingly so it would hit that enemy. And one more thing you need is a line cast, which makes sure that you don't home in on an enemy that's behind cover. So in the case of cover being there, the bullet will fly straight until there's a visibility to the enemy, and then it will hit him. So it won't just do anything stupid like hit the wall in front of it, but it will still try to get the enemy behind cover once it can. And now that I got you thinking about it, you're probably realizing that these homing bullets basically work just like tiny enemies that only live for a second and home in on the enemy. And surprise! I used the very same code to program the Demon Baby, the only one of your allies that actively aims at an enemy and shoots at him. All the other characters you have, they just shoot the same direction you do, but the Demon Baby is my favorite, because it actually looks, oh, this enemy is the closest one to me, I'm gonna shoot that one. And in my Eternal Edition, I even gave it a huge buff, where it actually deals big damage now. Oh, if only everyone could enjoy the Demon Baby like I do. Another place where I use the same code is the Cube of Meat, and the headless body that you can spawn. There's an item where you cut off your head and then your body runs around while your head just keeps flying around. You're just still the head, but your body's there dealing damage, running after the enemies. And the Cube of Meat too runs after the enemies if you've collected enough of them. And, well, he uses the same AI. He goes, oh, this enemy's close, let's go for that one. And it's cool. So that's where it's different to the blue flies, because the blue flies only attack one single target that was tagged by you shooting it, or, well, they respawn to attack that specific enemy. So there you go. Those are the really smart allies that you can get. The headless body and the Cube of Meat and the Demon Baby. Alright, well, now let's get down to the mathematical algebraic calculations. Woo! Oh shit, I was a little Adventure Time character there. Let's not do that again. Alright, so what is a line cast? A line cast is a calculation that determines whether or not a specific trajectory hits a wall. So in a first-person shooter you would have a line cast that is a bullet. And, well, a bullet is bound to hit a wall, so that's where we put the decal. It's like, oh, there's the bullet, it hit the wall, or it hit the enemy. Either way, there's either blood or a decal on the wall. Just a decal on the wall. Now, as the name says, we're talking on a straight line here, so if you shoot at the sky, you're just gonna hit empty, because the bullet isn't gonna come down eventually when it runs out of gravity. It's just a straight line. And that's what we're dealing with here. A straight line is a line of sight, whether or not an enemy can see the player, or whether or not a bullet can see an enemy when it's homing. Yeah. Okay, so of course Unity has a built-in line cast, or a sphere cast even, where you have a different widths of line, like a capsule, I guess. But not Flash, of course. Flash doesn't have anything built in, not a single thing, so I had to program everything myself. Sure is a great idea to make a game in Flash. So here we go. How do we calculate a line cast? Well, on the bright side, we have to do a two-dimensional line cast, which is slightly easier to do than a three-dimensional. Actually, it's a lot easier to do, especially because we have a grid. That makes it even easier. So it's similar to the way we would have done the pathfinding earlier, but now instead of being in the center of every tile, now we could be anywhere on the tile. And then we have to calculate, oh, in which tile does this specific part of the line cast hit? Okay, so the way I like to do it is by starting out with the position and getting the other position. There's two positions in a line cast, of course, the start and the end. And then you have to check all the positions in between. Now, obviously, you don't want to check all of them, but you just check like every 3 pixels or something. So what we do is we take the distance, and we see, oh, it's 100 pixels, that means we'll do, I don't know, like 30 tries. So we'll move it forwards by 1/30th of the position each time. And then we check where in the grid does this fall, and is this grid taken? Is there a block that's gonna hit the line cast? Is it gonna trigger the line cast and determine that there is no line of sight because there's a block in the way? Well, good thing it's fairly simple. You can always simplify things if you just stick to 2D and grid-based and all the other ways that you can save yourself a lot of time. So there we have it, a line cast, a simplistic, beautiful way of determining whether or not an enemy can see you or a bullet can see an enemy. Perfect. Alright, let's do the practical implications. So let's see, the starting point is, I don't know, 3 by 3, the coordinates, and then the go-to point is, well, let's go in a diagonal line here, and let's say we go to 6 and 6. Alright. And then we draw some walls, and some of them are in the way and some of them are not in the way, and then we go off. Okay, so what's the distance? Well, the distance is 3 by 3, which means a vector has an x and a y coordinate of each 3. And what's the actual distance going to be? Well, remember when we did the Pythagorean theorem? Well, we got 3 times 3 plus 3 times 3, and the square root out of that is... Okay, let me calculate real quick. Oh no, it's 4.2. I hate 420. No! Anyways. Okay, so let's take 10 steps. So each one would move you by 0.3 in the x and in the y. And that would be 0.42 in overall, so there you go. Okay, so we move and it's clear. We move, clear. And then we move and nope, not clear that time. Oh, oops, I guess we didn't need to do a line cast. It was fairly obvious that there was a wall right in front of our face. Well, that's not how computers work. The only way to find out if there's a wall right in front of our face is to do a line cast. So there we go. AI, baby. So anyways, now that we have this practical application, we know how to make, well, AI actors that can attack anyone who's on the other team. Or we could even make it so there's no teams and they attack each other ravenously. Like for example, if we were to make Doom, then we would just make it so the enemies have the ability to attack each other. So every time they would run a calculation of who's the closest enemy. But currently the enemies aren't aggressive to each other yet unless they accidentally hit each other and then they start fighting each other. Pretty cool, huh? Not in Isaac though, no infighting there. The enemies are simple and basic and all they do is attack you if they are in the same room as you actually. They don't even need to get aggro, they just run at you from the beginning. Because get that boy, kill that little boy.
Destroy the child.
He's entered the room, now kill him. Except for the ones that can't move. They wait until they have line of sight with the line cast, and then they shoot you. Pretty cool, huh? And then stuff like My Best Friend, where you get to make a little doll of yourself that blows up and it aggroes enemies in. You're gonna think, oh, how did you manage to do that one? Well, actually, I just make the player invisible, and I switch the player with the decoy. And then the enemies still think they're going for the player, but then, oh, it's blowing up. It's the decoy. Haha. I actually did that one in a really lazy way that you should not look up to. Because there's a possibility where you could harm the decoy and then you would get instant killed. Because, well, you actually only have 3 HP while the enemies have like 100 HP. So whenever anything does minuscule damage to the decoy and it doesn't realize, oh, that's actually the player, then it would have instant killed you. If you look it up, there's bugs where that switch killed you. So definitely never make a decoy that way. Surely there would have been a better way to just make all the enemies follow the decoy instead of me. That doesn't lead to me sometimes getting instant killed. Alright, well, subscribe for more Binding of Isaac Explained. Yeah, soon we're gonna do some actual boss fights. Actually, yeah, let's do boss fights. Let's talk about maybe Monster and Larry Jr. next. Have fun with that one. I mean, whenever I get around to making it, hopefully in like 2 weeks. subscribe.